MAD stands for the Mapping Arms Data Visualization Tool, MAD, which essentially was an exercise in trying to visualize the entirety of the global small arms and ammunition trade around the world. And it was designed originally with Google ideas to talk about how technology can potentially disrupt illicit networks through transparency, through action, through visualizing complex phenomena in ways that would allow it to be accessible by policymakers, by activists, and by campaigners and others. Within a couple of weeks, we had a few million hits on the website, and it went pretty much global. It hit a very diverse, very mixed, and a much larger audience than we ever could have dreamed of if we presented it purely as an Excel table or as a report or a graph. There are two colors. Orange represents exports, and blue represents imports. And you have three types of weaponry that we've collapsed together. The tool reveals a number of very interesting trends around the world. Many countries, more than we'd anticipated, are involved in some aspects of production, of exports, of transiting authorized weapons around the world. Brazil presents itself as a country that's a multilateralist, it's a non-interventionist, it respects the sovereignty of all of its neighbors, it seeks to promote conflict prevention, yet Brazil is the second largest exporter of small arms and ammunition in this hemisphere. Norway is a terrific exporter of small arms, high-powered small arms and high-caliber ammunition. What's also interesting are those who import. Sudan, when you look at the MAD tool, you actually see around 2002, 2003, during the period when the genocide in Sudan begins, very large imports being received, or exports, but reported as imports, from countries like Iran. And so I think what MAD does is it allows us to anticipate where we might see the next hot spot. And you'll see at the center of the globe, the United States, which lights up the globe like a cannon. Technology becomes a really interesting medium to have a conversation which is highly emotive, highly polarized, and quite sensitive for a lot of countries to broach. I think it's fundamental that we start thinking about ways of digitizing or datafying the research that we do as think tanks, as research institutes, as advocacy organizations, as NGOs. And it's transforming the way that we communicate with audiences and the way young people are communicating, which is fundamentally different than the way I grew up in terms of interpreting information. So I think technology is essential across the whole bandwidth.